I have to be at work today by 5:30. It is 4:17. Show you guys how to be a functional adult. I'll show you what it looks like to actually have to do some actual work to get things done in your day to day. This is the way that I live, as you can see, because the money that I make as a man is not used for me, is used for everything outside of me. And the world is designed to make sure that all of the money that you make, you are not using it for yourself, that you are pumping it out and giving it to everybody else so that everybody else can have prosperity. And what you have to learn to do is you have to learn how to balance your needs versus other people's needs. And when you do for others, they are happy and content taking from you. And when you do for yourself, others get offended by that because how dare you think about yourself and put yourself before others. You should be doing everything for everybody but yourself. And then you find yourself like I am right now, alone. The universe has permanence. It means that the things in the universe behave in a very predictable way. Like this spider that's been in here all weekend. Time for me to get in the tub. Water is running. Trash. I no longer have trash bags because Nessa took the trash bags. So now I have to go back to the gas station, go back to the grocery store to buy more trash bags. The universe is permanence. It means that the things that are the way that they are will remain the way that they are until something comes around or some force moves them. None of this shit is going any fucking where until somebody gets up off their ass and moves it. That's the way that the universe has always behaved. So that means that you have to put energy into making sure things are clean, making sure things are organized. That also means that if I put this cup right here, that cup's not going to move until I move it. It's not going to go anywhere. When I turn my back to it, it's not going to tap dance and run around and shit. That's not how life works. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to change. It's going to stay there indefinitely. Can you see that? Can you see the bacon? Okay. Like I said, in fact, I'll do it this way. Because the star of this show is that cup. Because everything moves around, it changes its position in life, and reality doesn't retain its order. It's orderless. Reality, the things like to move around and jump, and ghosts and goblins come in here and start to fuck up shit. It's not how the world works. It's literally not how it works. Why you have to clean your fucking room, because your room won't clean itself. This. Why would I put my shirt for work inside of a pot? Why would I do that as an adult? Doesn't make any sense. There's only 3 people that was living in this apartment. So if I didn't do it and it doesn't do it to itself, then I have full right to assume that the other 2 adults are responsible for it. And I should have full right to call them out for it without being spoken to like some type of crazy person that doesn't understand how the world works. Even though I've been living in this world for more than 42 years, right? So that shows you a lack of respect. It's just very disrespectful for you to expect a certain way, expect someone to behave a certain way, while simultaneously you yourself don't want to be held to the same standard. After I get out of the tub, there's water on the floor. Because there's no way for me to get out of the tub and not take a bath. I mean, there's no way for me to take a bath and get out of the tub and not get water on the floor. Now, if it bothers you, you could just get a towel, right? Get a towel. Get the water up. You could do this, or you could just complain every time somebody is in a tub and they get out. You could just complain that the floor is wet. Because it doesn't have to actually be wet. You just can complain about it being wet. You could just complain every fucking day. How much time? How much time? How much fucking time? She moved an entire fucking 2-bedroom house instead of just doing that. She moved 2 bedrooms worth of stuff in the living room, kitchen, all of that. Because she couldn't do just that. Because that was just too much for her, because she shouldn't have to clean up after no grown ass man. That's fine and that's fair. That's fine and that's fair. But as you can see, my alarms, they didn't magically turn themselves off today. They seem to work today. Permanence of my life seems to be pretty consistent and stable today, so. And there's always this unnecessary battle, this unnecessary struggle, this unnecessary war between people for what? Like, what is the goal? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do? You're stopping me from operating the way that I operate. For what? So that I can not get to work on time? So that I can not make money? Like, what is the goal? You want me to understand what? That what's important to you has to be important to me, while you simultaneously don't care about what's important to me? You're not interested in what I have going on? You don't care about what other people are trying to do with their lives? You just only are focused on what you think and how you feel, right? Like this toilet seat used to say, put me down. Put me down. Like, why can't you just come in here and put the toilet seat down? Situational awareness. Women are always talking about how men can't understand reality, or how we are oblivious to the world, and how we can't see anything, yet somehow they always manage to come into a bathroom with a toilet seat that is consistently up and sit down on the toilet with the toilet seat up. You don't have the capacity to spend a half a second to do that. That's too difficult for you as a female. But you want to bitch and complain about all the stuff you think men should and should not be able to do? I don't understand. Doesn't make sense. This is being a functional adult. Everybody has their own opinion about levels of disgust or degrees to which this is right or wrong. At the end of the day, toilet was shitty. Now toilet is not shitty. Then you rinse. And you rinse. Most important part of a toilet, anybody that knows already knows. This is the part that only clean people clean. People pretending to be clean. Just go look at this part of the toilet. This will let you know if they're actually cleaning or not. And then after you're done doing that, what's the next most important step? What do you do next? Wash your hands. I will probably get to work about 5:40, 5:45, because I need to get up a little bit earlier to get this stuff done, which is why I was trying to set my alarm to wake up at 3 o'clock and not 4:20. 4:20 is my functional time when I can wake up and be a functional person, and 3 o'clock is the time that I need to wake up. So that's why I have multiple alarms. And it's super inconvenient to get woken up by an alarm when you're not trying to get up. in the morning. But I offered to sleep on the couch. She said she didn't care. What's that gonna achieve? What's that gonna matter? This is the way I clean out the tub. Because it's super fast, super convenient, keeps it sanitized. The first thing I would have did is clean it up as soon as I got out of it. Yes, for those of you that are observant, this is in fact the same exact towel I use to clean the toilet out with. Because it doesn't fucking matter. All that extra bullshit that you believe is relevant because of your thinking process as a human being is not relevant. That information is just gonna slow you down. Ew, that's disgusting. He used the same toilet he used to clean the toilet out with to clean up the tub. The same shit that was on my body is the same shit that was in the water from the tub from when I took a shit. It's not like when I took a shit, I don't have shit particles on my body. That's why we have to take baths anyway. So once you understand thermodynamics in open, closed, and isolated systems, you realize there's no such thing as isolation. So what is the energy that is necessary to put into pretending like things are what they are? They're not. They're not different. So what's the difference between using this to clean this out and also using this to clean this out? There's no difference. Because the cleaning process makes sure this is also clean. Now if you do it 3,000 times in a row and then the cumulative cleanliness will cause this to actually be disgusting, that's different. But if you wash this regularly like you're supposed to, it won't change any fucking thing. It doesn't change anything. It's just a mental stagnation that is perpetuated and projected on us as children. And then when you grow up as adults, you have all these weird quirks about what you think things should be and how you think things should be and the way the world should work and how the world should work and how the world should function. You're not in fucking control of anything. We don't control shit. We have beliefs and perceptions of control. We don't fucking control any goddamn thing. Force over distance through time. The universe is self-regulating, self-governing, self-organizing. We are chaos to natural order. That is how it is. Believing anything other than that is exactly what the system needs you to do so that you can make them a profit. That's it. As long as you're invested in some made up BS that's not going to actually get you anywhere in life and it's just going to keep you slowed down and stagnated, then that's great. What I'm doing right now is allowing me not to have to go to Burger King or McDonald's this morning. And when Nessa was here, she made this process, one that I'm used to, very, very, very difficult. She made it extraordinarily difficult. How much time do I got? I've got 11 minutes. 11 minutes. had this thing for over 2 years. It was empty. Vanessa put ice in it. And now, because the universe has permanence, it still has water in it. I've always done this because I had parents that said, clean the kitchen. I would clean the kitchen. They would go in the kitchen and see the kitchen is clean, and then they would leave me alone. They would say, go outside and rake the grass. So go outside and rake the grass. When I was done raking the grass, they would go out and see the grass is raked. They would leave me alone. My parents didn't find trivial things for me to do just to do them. They knew what was important and what needed to be done, and that shit got done, and then I got left alone. It wasn't about making me do things because they were people of authority and they had the right to tell me what to do as a kid. That's not the way I was raised. And I'm starting to realize that I'm the only person on the planet that was raised that way. What was important and what was relevant is what was expected. And if you did what was expected of you, you were left alone. So I really feel for everyone else, but that's the way I was raised. And I don't have this disillusioned relationship with my parents. They're still my parents. I still can't stand half of the stuff that they did to me when I was a kid. But the adult in me looks at what they did to the kid in me, and I realize that it was important, valuable, and correct. And I don't deviate from that. I don't try to pretend like I didn't need to be raised or that I wasn't a dysfunctional child. Like I operated within the normality of what it is to expect from a kid. So I got treated like a kid. I cook dinner. I'm the one cleaning out my dishes from when I cook dinner. When Nessa and Chris cooked dinner, they wanted me to understand that it was necessary for me to wash dishes. Now they can say whatever they want, but the expectation was clear. Hey, when you get home from work, wash our dishes. That was the expectation. And I don't have a problem with doing it, but like, are we gonna do things halfway? If you're staying here and you're not paying rent and you're not paying utilities and you're not contributing anything financially other than food, and the food that you're eating is the food that you're buying for yourself, because I was doing that before you got here, what exactly is it that, like, why am I working my ass off and having to come home and clean up after two other adults? Why am I doing that? How is that okay and normal? And you don't want me to question you, because if I question you, then I'll realize that that's what is going on. And so it's wrong for me to formulate thoughts and opinions and realizations and understandings about the reality of what you're trying to do. Like, I don't get it. And trust me, when you grabbed your shit, when you put your shit in that truck, instead of just helping me do the things that bother you, you prove through your actions what your actual intentions were. Because it's forced overtime through labor. Way easier just to do the shit that bothers you and live in an apartment rent-free and utilities are paid and services are on. You had access to my card in your own card to be able to do the things you needed to do to make money for yourself. But you needed me to understand that the way that I move, that the decisions that I make, my methodology about life is inherently wrong and broken. Based on what value? Based on Europeans, based on white people. I don't have time for that. I don't operate with their standards. I live in America. I have the right to agency economy, or at least the disillusion of it. And I don't move the way that they want me to move because I know that the way they want me to move is not in my best interest, it's in their best interest. So if I understand that and I believe it and I know it, why would I not change my behavior based on that? Why would you not? If you know that the way that you're being treated is wrong, why would you continue to behave based on wrong treatment? Why would you continue to engage in behavior based on wrong treatment if you've established and have identified that this thing that I'm doing is not right and it's not fair? So now that I've identified that this thing is not right and not fair, I will continue to engage in this behavior based on this understanding. Why would you do that? Have you not looked at history? Have you not studied history? Have you not seen the way people move? Not everybody wants to live by the same values. And as long as you're not breaking laws, rules, and regulations, you're good. You are good. As long as you're being ethical, moral, and engaged in legal behavior, you are good. If you deviate from that, that's when there's a problem. The apartment came with a plunger for my sink, but NASA decided that it was hers, so now I no longer have one. So now I don't have any way to actually close my sink. Okay, here comes the most important part of why I'm doing all of this on my television. Dang it. It's acceptable. Waffles are done. Bacon, waffle, like that. Bacon, waffle, eggs, time. There's not enough time for me to eat food. All of that stuff that is important, I don't have time to actually do the thing that's important, which is eat. The floor is dry though. Floor is dry, tub is clean, toilet is clean. But there's no more time. There's not enough time left for me to eat food. I have to wake up a little bit earlier to be able to actually have enough time to do those things the way they need to get done. And that's why I had a 3 o'clock timer and a 3:20 and a 4:20 timer and a 4:40 timer, so I can condition myself to wake up earlier. Let's go to work. The first thing I said to Nessa before she moved in, we're gonna need a second refrigerator. What are we gonna need a second refrigerator for? There shouldn't be no food left over. There should be more than enough space in the refrigerator for eating the things that we're eating. Well, when I cook food, I have enough space now to put it in the refrigerator. When she was here, we had a whole lot of food that was just in the refrigerator going bad. Well, if you would have been going to McDonald's, then it wouldn't have been going to waste. Well, if you only have half of the ingredients to make half of a meal, then you can't actually make anything with what's in the refrigerator. You only have half of the ingredients you need for any half of a meal. That's why I wasn't cooking. Because I only had half of the stuff that I needed at any given time. You're just making excuses. Let's go to work. Oops, all right. One of the things that Ness always complained about was, you always eat so fast. Why you always eat so fast? You should take time to enjoy your food. Nobody cares if I eat. The world doesn't care if I actually eat. It's not important if I'm actually consuming nutrients for myself. The only thing that matters is that I'm doing labor for somebody else. That's why she left. Because I didn't want to do labor for her. It's just that simple. Let's see if we can make it to work on time. And the star of the show this morning before we go. Good morning. Hi. Here's the star of the show. The cup is still where I left it. The universe has permanence. Everything will be exactly where it is when I return. This is exactly how things are, and this is exactly how things will be when I come back. And no amount of anyone trying to tell you that there's goblins, ghouls, ghosts, any of that other bullshit is going to adjust or adapt or change the reality of the way the world actually operates and functions. and people want to play games instead of just be a functional adults. And I don't have time for it. I'm just not emotionally invested in it anymore. I'm not gonna entertain your bullshit, and you're not gonna disrespect me by telling me that I don't know how to keep a schedule, or my decision making and my time management skills are not adequate, so I should listen to you so that I can be a failure. I don't have time to be a failure. I don't have time to be a failure for somebody else that's not going to be accountable or responsible for me being a failure. I will fail for you if you're going to acknowledge that the decisions that you made and the decisions and the directions that you gave to me were not adequate for me to achieve the goal that you set for me. Then we can do that, and we can go ahead and I can give you my agency and follow your directions. But other than that, nobody got time for that anymore. I'm trying to become a billionaire on social media by selling people the truth, the actual truth, not the bullshit, half-ass, what makes me feel good truth, but the legitimate truth. So let's go to work. I should have left out about 10 minutes ago. I gotta go back upstairs and grab my box cutter. Wait here in the darkness. Okay, see if we can make it to work. I have to be at work before 5:30. This is the reason why I would have left out 10 minutes ago to go to McDonald's and Burger King or Starbucks to get food, because there's not enough time to navigate that cluttered kitchen in any meaningful way to get anything done. And the food that I needed to cook was never there anyway. The only things I eat are bacon, eggs, and waffles. She never had bacon, eggs, and waffles. She didn't care about what I wanted to eat. It wasn't relevant. Nothing about what I wanted or needed was more important than her perception of what I needed and her perception of what she wanted to be invested in when it came to my wants. And it's fine. I'm grateful for her wanting to be invested, but it's counterproductive to what I'm trying to do for myself. If you don't want to take the time out to understand why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, then you can't help me the way I need you to help me. And if I know that you have your own agenda, and your agenda is to get me to deviate from my agenda, or to make sure that you extract as much as you can from my project to make your project work, and you're invested in showing me why my project isn't good enough, whether this applies to Nessa or not, just in general, I don't have time for that energy in my life. I don't have time for energy in my life. It's so much easier just to understand what someone is saying to you, make an effort to do that thing, and then move forward. And that's not what she wanted to do. She made it clear what she needed and what she wanted, and I was making an effort to do those things for her. I didn't tell her to rearrange the room. I didn't tell her to turn off my alarm. I don't care how much she says that she didn't turn my alarm off. I don't care what she says. I started the My 2 Cent Life System so that I can have agency and autonomy and run my life. I don't have a memory problem. It's not that I can't remember. I actually go out of my way not to remember stupid shit. Because you're only asking me to do dumb shit so that you can keep me from doing the things that I want to do. You want to keep confusion and distorting reality and playing games and saying things that aren't relevant, saying things that aren't important, so that I can keep moving in ways that make me look like I'm erratic, irrational, incapable of forming a coherent thought, and running all over the place and being indecisive. And I see all that energy in Nessa, but she doesn't want to see it that way. She doesn't want to see it that way. She doesn't want to adjust who she is to be the person she wants to be, because she has to first look at all the stuff that she's doing that she don't want to see and be willing to acknowledge it and be willing to do the fucking work to change it. It's easy to tell me, oh, we got a tub, dry the floor. It's easy for me to just get out the tub and dry the fucking floor, but it's not relevant to anything. It doesn't change anything about the everydays going on in my life. Because the water that's in the kitchen, the water on the bathroom floor right now has nothing to do with me getting to work on time. It has nothing to do with me driving down the street right now on my way to work. It has nothing to do with the fact that I had to leave the house without eating this morning. None of that shit. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. There's nothing going on. And if you have two other functional adults in your house that have a problem with something that is in the house, and they are not willing to get up off their fucking ass and take care of the thing that bothers them, that's the reason why we are struggling, especially as African Americans. That's the reason why we're fucking struggling. Because you don't have a problem with me coming into the bathroom and cleaning up after you, but you have a problem with the idea of having to clean up after me. The idea of picking clothes up off the floor for me is a problem. The idea of having a vacuum for me is a problem. The idea of having a clean for me is a problem. The idea of having to take me to work is a problem. Any service that has to be rendered to an African American man has been sociologically conditioned into people as to be not fucking okay. Society has conditioned everybody that if you help an African American man, it is pathologically not acceptable unless you are also yourself an African American man. And we're so busy trying to take care of ourselves, we don't got enough extra for each other. That's why we don't really bother each other like that, because we already know that we both got the same fucking struggle. I'm not gonna interfere with your struggle because I got my own shit. I know you got your shit and I got my shit. And that's just the reality of what we have to deal with every day. And that's just how it's gonna always be. It's never gonna stop being that way until somebody figures out what needs to happen to make it stop being that way. And I'm in the process of building a system. If you have it, like I've said all the time, if you have a better system, let me know so that I can use it. But I'm in the process of building a system. That's why I let Renessa know she's got 30 days to go find somewhere else to be. And because she's a woman, she didn't need 30 days. She didn't need 30 days. It wasn't necessary for her to wait 30 days. She immediately got up and left. And I have no problems, no nothing. This is just understanding the social dynamic of the world and why humans can't operate as functional adults. Why two functional adults can't operate as two functional adults? Why are we able to formulate plans, come up with understandings, communicate rationally, but ultimately dissolve into nothingness, dissolve into bullshit? I didn't have a problem with Ernesto turning off my alarms. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It's kind of petty, but it's whatever. I don't even have a problem with her ignoring the fact that she turned off my alarms and pretending that she doesn't want to, and acting like she didn't do it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with her acting like she doesn't want to do it. I don't even have a problem with her not accepting my apology. Nobody has to accept your apology. It's not necessary for someone to apologize to you and you accept it. I have repeatedly not accepted people's apologies. The problem that I have is the behavior is a degradation into bullshit. It's not standing on business and trying to be something that you've tried your hardest to be in working relationships with people and they haven't been successful. You have all the information to know what doesn't work and what does work. You deviating from that to continue to be a petty, childish person, that's why you got 30 days to leave. Because you're not gonna, if you're not willing to acknowledge what you did, and you're not willing to even entertain me accepting an apology from me, there's nothing there. There's no longer any type of relationship between us because you've crossed. There is anything. There's nothing really going on. There's nothing fucking going on. The only thing going on is I need to get up on time to go to work. And I was working 2 p.m. to 1 a.m. and now I'm working 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that schedule change is difficult. It's difficult. It's chaos. It's disorder. My ordered world has become chaotic and disordered. And I need to move into a new order. And in the process of me moving into a new order, there's going to be fucking chaos. And as an adult, you should be able to understand that chaos. That chaos should not bother you. You should be able to understand it and be able to move forward with it. You've got all goddamn day to sleep if you're not getting up making any money and giving it to me. It's easy to tell me you're going to give me some money, but if you're not giving it to me, then what are you actually doing? I'm letting you use the car so you can take care of yourself. I don't have a problem with you taking care of yourself. Why is it a problem that these fundamental things that have to be done a fundamental way is an issue? Like, why is it a problem for you? Why is it an issue for you? Why do you feel like you're going to wake me up? How are you going to be fucking awake to wake me up if you don't want to be disturbed by an alarm? How are you going to be up to wake me up if you're going to be disturbed by an alarm? If your goal is to be able to sleep, I can't trust you to wake me up in the morning because your goal is to be asleep. And if I'm late and you're not invested in me being late because you're more invested in how you feel and what's going on in your life, I'm going to be late to work and you're going to tell me that it is a me problem. That's not my problem, Paul, that you're late to work. That's your problem. You need to learn how to be more responsible. You need to learn how to be on time. I'm not a fucking nigger. I'm not a fucking African American male that has a long history of being late to fucking work. I'm just not. In the military, my NCOs were constantly trying to get me in fucking trouble for no fucking reason. And one of my NCOs called me, my 5 called me, hey, come to the dining facility in PCs. I was scheduled to be at work at 10 o'clock. I should have been at the PT formation, but he wanted me to show up at the motor pool in OCPs. I mean, he wanted me to show up at the dive facility in OCPs when I was scheduled to be at formation for PT at 6:30. So you know what I did? I showed up to the dining facility in fucking PTs. And he said, why aren't you in OCPs?
I thought I told you to be in PTs, OCPs. I said, Sergeant, we're not allowed to wear OCPs to the dining facility, and it's PT time for me. That's where I'm scheduled to be. You didn't communicate to me what was going on, and this is last minute, so I'm in the proper uniform at the right location at the right fucking time. What do you need me to do? I'm saying all this to him in temporary arrest. So you know what he did? He reprimanded me for it, wrote me up, recommended me for UCMJ. My 5, my 6, and my 7 all signed that shit. You know what happened to Specialist Emerson? Not a goddamn thing, because I was scheduled to be at the fucking dining facility at 10 o'clock. 6:30 PT was where I was supposed to have been at that time. And there was no reporting to the motor pool, because you don't report to the fucking dining facility to go to the fucking motor pool. You go straight to the motor pool. If he would have said, be at the motor pool in OCPs, that's what I would have been at the motor pool in. But you're not going to have me report to the dining facility at 6:30 in the morning after you just spent 3 fucking years conditioning me to understand that there is absolutely no reason why I should be at the dining facility and anything other than cook whites. But this is the behavior that people engage in with young people when you don't understand the way the world works, that got you all fucked up. And then the way that it works is you take accountability and responsibility for the bullshit that other people are telling you, because you're trying your hardest to be functional. And in trying your hardest to be functional, you wind up being conditioned to be this fucking functional, because you don't know where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be wearing based on leadership not being accountable or responsible. And that's the way life fucking works. That's how all this bullshit winds up creating unnecessary dysfunction and unnecessary chaos. And everything I'm saying sounds stupid and crazy and ludicrous and unhinged, but you can't talk about anything that is a condition of insanity and come off sounding sane. You can't put chaos into perspective without it also sounding chaotic. There's no way to do it. Because if I'm talking about chaos and it sounds ordered, then I'm not talking about order. I'm not talking about chaos. I'm actually talking about order. And that's where we make our mistakes. We don't want to put things in their perspective, in their context. That's just not the way the world actually functions. It's not the way that the world actually works. The way the world actually works the world doesn't care about what you think or how you feel, and it does not have to be in compliance with your ability to understand it. Natural order is its own agent. It does what it wants to do. What time is it? This is the time. This is the fucking time. Don't come at me. Come on, phone. Don't come at me like I don't know how to keep track of time, or I don't know how to make good sound decisions. You asked me directly, Nessa, why do you eat so fast? Why do you eat so fast? I had 5 minutes to eat the food that I made for myself and still be to work on time. So these are the answers to the questions that you're asking me. This is what it looks like. This is the reality of what it looks like. This is the way I should have been behaving while y'all were there. But I was trying to be humble and respectful to the fact that y'all were in the space too, and creating an environment where all of us could be functional together. You infringed on that. You infringed on that. You created conditions that I couldn't ignore with your behavior and with your deciding to step over boundaries that you know are not okay. And you can sit here all day and tell me you didn't turn off my alarms. You can do that. That's fine. You can say that. You can sit here all day and act like it's not your responsibility to engage in behavior that you want engaged in. That's fine. You can do that. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to be a functional adult, then we don't have to be functional adults. I love you. I respect you. I enjoy your time and your energy. But you don't get to come into my life and be stereotypical women that I'm not trying to be dealing with. I don't want that energy. I don't need you to come over and be my mom. I have a mom. I don't need you to come over and be my father. I have a father. I don't need any of that. None of that is necessary. I don't need you to raise me. I don't need you to try to fix me. I am a veteran of the Army, and I have proven through my service in the military that I am above average as a civilian. And the fact that I am humble and respectful and don't constantly stick my chest out and brag about it doesn't change the foundation of who I am as a man and what I have to provide in the service of this world. And I'm not going to keep arguing and fighting with people to validate myself. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. And women don't want to be accountable or responsible. You don't want to take responsibility for things when they go sideways. You want to maintain your position of safety so that you can go to heaven. If you want to go to fucking heaven, you do that shit. I live on this planet. I'm going to deal with the adversities of this planet. And when I die and cross over, I'm fucking shit up. I'm fucking shit up. I'm not arguing and fighting in the material realm. If I have a fucking spirit and I have agency when I get to the other fucking side, I'm raising fucking hell. Literally raising fucking hell. I don't have the energy in me to be trying to engage in behavior that has been proven to me to be unfucking successful. I'm not doing it anymore. And as always, my name is Paul Emerson, and I've given you my 2 cents.